says 14 to 16 newton meters, which is right there. So torque. So I'm just about ready to do the clutch. This is the old one, obviously, and the old bushing. A 16 mil fits nicely right there. It didn't come with an alignment tool. So, but right here, this is the old one. Barely doesn't fit. These are the old ones, but same thing on the new. So it barely doesn't fit. So what I'm gonna do is actually just taper this off a little bit so it'll fit in here. I'll be able to line it in there, and it'll taper and then rest in there, and that'll get it. I mean, it'll get it as well as an alignment tool. So let's get that done. Beautiful. number 1. Tighten tab is adjust the screw when it clears right. Ejector mini. So just 3 with 6 open. Okay, just 3 with 6 open. Oh, there we go. With 7 open. Eight fully open, check 1. 6 fully open, check 3. 4 fully open, check 5. 7 fully open, check 2. 1 fully open, check 8. 3 fully open, check 6. 5 fully open, check 4. 2 fully open, check 7. I'm using my feeler gauge. It's Imperial, so it's 0.203. It's asking 0.2 millimeters. So put it slightly on the tighter drag. I mean, it's fine. So that's it. We're good. So I marked all these guys by color. I'll show you in a sec here how I did it. It's got like this little tiny little gaskety guy. So I marked all these guys with kind of a color code right here, right? So the reds are 50. We need 2 of those, or 50 mil, 35 mil, 7 of those, 25 mil, 1 of those. 110 mil, 2 of those, 100 mil, 2 of those. So red, blue, yellow, gold, and black. So you'll see here, so you got yellow right here, so that's 25 mil. Blue is 35 mil. Sorry, yeah, yellow is 25 mil, blue is 35 mil. 110 is gold, these 2 guys. 100 2 are black, this guy and that guy right here, and 35 mil are all the blue ones, which is I think 7 of them. I don't know, for me it's just a lot easier to, you know, kind of go through the headache in the beginning of like coloring cutting everything out and then just being able to just comfortably put everything into place. Torque is the same on all of them. That's it. All 25 Newton meters. Alright, 1. One more time. Cool beans. Just a quick comment, like you see right here, see how this is kind of chewed up, corroded from coolant. Right here, not so much. But what I've done, and I've never really had issues, but I'm sure people will disagree, is actually get a little bit of tape. Kind of close off the affected area, or seal off the affected area. Clean it off with some solvent, and then I actually just run a little bead, very thin, of blue RTV just around here, and I'll let it dry for however long. I kind of try to do it in the beginning of the process of the rebuild or whatever, so I'll have plenty of time to dry, and that way a hose will slip on there and it'll create like a nice seal over there. I'm sure people will disagree and think it's not a good idea to do so, but I don't know. I've never really run into an issue, and I've definitely been able to, you know, use it, and where the aluminum is pretty much like it's very heavily pitted, but by doing this, almost nothing. That's it, nothing much, just the tiniest little layer. What it does is seals off kind of all of the little pitted areas, and the rubber hose will be able to tighten to it pretty comfortably, and you know, it'll create a nice seal versus forcing, you know, the you know, the clip over those pitted areas, and then it just creates like this erosion all over again, because it's the, you know, path of least resistance, you know, in that seal. But if you do this, then all of a sudden you've covered that up and you've smoothed it out, and then as soon as you seal it, it's got a nice even seal. So not only does it seal better, but it also doesn't create a path of least resistance for the coolant to make its way out, and also further corrode the aluminum. What's the risk? Maybe, I don't really know. I mean, I guess in the hypothetical that like a little chunk would come out, and then there'd be a vacuum, and then it would go in there, and then so much so that it would clog the coolant or the water pump. You know, I mean, that hypothetical would be, it's just a lot of, there's so many things that would have to happen for that to occur that I just don't see it as feasible. Versus, you know, not having this, having it become pitted, you put your seal, you know, your seal on there, you tighten it up, tighten your clamp or your Jubilee clip up as much as you can. Either you've tightened it too much and now it's loosened because the tooth kind of jumped up. Now you're losing coolant, or it's a slow leak, and that slow leak will actually erode further and further that pitted area. So, you know, balancing one and the other, I would much rather do this. To each his own. Bolted onto the head. These have rubber plugs or something in there. I think it's made for some sort of other use for the 300 TDI, but I tapped M10 bolts in there, and so instead of having this resting on the head or clamped onto the head, I'm gonna kind of use this plate and have it, this portion, which is where the air filter rests, I'm gonna use another piece of stock steel and then create a bracket and have it rest in the same area. Possibly cut this, or use, or you know, cut the same profile. So let's try that. All right, so far this is what I've chopped up. Just a piece of a bracket that was for like a four-wheel, like some rear tire carrier that I Frankenstein into something else. So I cut this real basic shape right here. Okay, so this is supposed to sit like this, which is basically flush with this measurement that I took. And it's supposed to sit right here, which also, so if I were to cut this right here and weld directly on here, I'd be basically at the same spot. This needs to go. Anyway, just a little finagling, it should be good. Alright, a little trimming later. From the height. Perfect. I was going to push this back a little bit, but then you have a hard time getting the Allen in there. It's going to get the chop. Chop that off. That's what it's gonna be, which is basically the same location as where this was. So just like that, minus the bolt to make it level. We'll bring it right here, and then I'll probably put some. I'll put a gusset or two in there too. Haven't cleaned it up or anything, it's just barely, it's still really hot, but probably gonna throw a gusset in there. To be fair though, the original, the OEM piece did not have a gusset, and it's the same thickness steel. It would be fine, but might do a couple, maybe just to reinforce it. I heated this up with the brass wire wheel. Just heated it up around the outside, mostly on the brass though. Give it a cool coating. So cool. I know there's like there's a rubber seal and everything in here, but it's got aluminum's so good at just, you know, dispersing the heat that this isn't gonna be bad. The cool thing is, so this is a snap-on torch, paid more than I care to admit for, but how cool is this? This is the first time I've ever seen this, but very, very small. I don't know if you can make that out. This is made in Ireland. How cool is that? Snap-on, made in Ireland. Now I usually like, you know, lean toward, because I mean I'm here in the US, made in USA, but you know what, made in Ireland, I'll take that. Hell yeah. That is so cool. Oh, look at that. And I didn't even know this, but look. So you can see right here, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm pretty sure it's in Gaelic. And then it's in Irish or in English. So it says Deanta in Irene, I think. Deanta, and then Eirinn, which is, I'm pretty sure, Irish in Gaelic. Cool. I know Wales is Chimru, right, in Welsh, but I don't know. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell, but it does have like a nice bronze hue to it now. Maybe not. The thing is that, you know, I can see it from here, but aluminum disperses heat way, very, very fast. And so because of that, you can't really get it to the point where it's that hot. Especially when it's, you know, connected to a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, I'm touching it right now. It's completely cold. You know, but it did create, it put a nice little coating on there. You know, it's got this nice hue. Letting this dry off. Got the glow plugs I gotta tighten up. I'm looking at the wiring. I mean, this is, I mean, so few wires, right? But, you know, you get glow plug wires, you got your fuel pressure, you get your kill right here. I want to add a wire right here that's a grounded to connect an auxiliary fan. I don't even know if I'm going to use the original fan, but anyway, to connect an auxiliary fan, electric, that'll ground out and turn on. I also want to wire in the electric vacuum pump, which is right here. Got a bracket for it, and you know, this will just connect to the I think it's like I got like a 1 gallon little stainless reservoir, and it's got a pressure regulator, so it won't be on the entire time. I don't know exactly where to mount this, possibly right here. And some people that'll see that and be like, hey, this is redundant. Why are you creating like a vacuum pump instead of the mechanical one that was the original purpose? And my answer is, those pumps go out quite a bit. They're pricey. These are like 30 bucks. Easy to swap. All you need is a positive and a negative. And it'll create the same vacuum. And it's not a mechanical, you know, it's not draining on the mechanical system, running on those cams, on the camshaft. And it's just one less point of failure. If this goes out, you know, you don't have very much vacuum pressure on your brake. You know, your brake feels old school. If this goes out and it breaks something in there, you know, you're dropping metal parts all into the cam during, you know, in catastrophic failure. And that's when things get seriously bad, you know. So this is the original one. I didn't even rebuild it. I didn't buy a new one. This one might be okay. But, you know, instead of having this, anything breaking here, you know, this is a big mechanical contraption to do nothing more than grab one of the lobes from the camshaft to create vacuum. It's a very, very complicated system to create vacuum just for your brakes. You may as well just hand that over to an electric pump that can be bypassed at any time, you know, versus this. Something breaking here, something serious. This seizing up, okay, hard, will wear out that cam lobe. Then you got to replace the entire camshaft, which means you got to remove the head. Tons of mechanical work. Whereas if this is bypassed, it's just one less point of failure that it could occur. So that's why I decided to do that. And then the turbo and everything else, I'm still contemplating getting, I mean, a Vanos type system. There, I've got one Defender 110. So this is for my 130, my daily driver that I'm putting this in. I got a 110 5-door wagon that has a Vanos, like a VNT upgraded system from Brazil. And I might scavenge that guy. But if I do that, then I got to rebuild, or not rebuild it, but clean it all up and put it all together. I got to find out, though, if it's a Vanos system. Because if not, then I've got, you know, a decent turbo that I can put in this one. So, anyway, we'll see.